When this rocket roars to life, it will mark something we haven't seen in over 50 years. Humans are heading back toward the moon. 4 astronauts, Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, are packing their bags for a 10-day journey into deep space. Their ride is a brand new vehicle. It's made up of the Space Launch System, or SLS, essentially a 30-story skyscraper filled with rocket fuel, and the Orion capsule, the high-tech camper van sitting at the very top where the crew will actually live. But you wouldn't buy a brand new car and immediately drive it into the harsh desert without taking it for a spin around your neighborhood first. Spaceflight works the same way. Before NASA can land anyone on the moon, they have to test drive the vehicle. That means the Artemis II crew won't actually touch down on the lunar surface. Instead, their job is to push this new spacecraft to its absolute physical limits. By flying further out than the record set by Apollo 13, the crew collects data to prove the Orion capsule keeps humans safe. Once they confirm everything works in the extreme cold and radiation of deep space, the path is clear for the next mission to actually land. The journey begins with a violent climb through the atmosphere as millions of pounds of thrust lift the crew from the Florida coast into space. But the crew doesn't point the ship at the moon and hit the gas right away. First, they settle into a high orbit around Earth. This is their spin around the block. For a few hours, the astronauts grab the manual controls to see how the ship handles. They check the computers, test the air filters, and verify life support while they are still close to home. Once the systems check out, they execute what's called a translunar injection. It's a massive, sustained engine burn that acts like a cosmic on-ramp, giving Orion the exact push it needs to break out of Earth's orbit and plunge into the void. Earning those green lights during the Earth orbit test is what gives Mission Control the confidence to commit to that final engine burn. Once they fire those thrusters, they are on their way. Over the next few days, the crew cruises through the quiet of deep space. Out their windows, the Earth slowly shrinks until it looks like a distant blue marble suspended in pitch black. This diagram shows the exact flight path between Earth and the Moon. Notice how it forms a massive figure 8. The spacecraft travels outward, loops around the back of the Moon, and crosses its own path on the way back. As the crew travels along the top loop of that figure 8, they fly around the far side of the Moon. Because a massive ball of rock is now sitting between them and home, their radio signals are entirely blocked. Caught off for 50 minutes, they rely on a free return trajectory. Instead of burning fuel, the crew lets the Moon's gravity catch them. It pulls them in, accelerates them, and smoothly whips the spacecraft onto a path straight home. This trick of physics is the ultimate safety net. It guarantees that even if the main engines were to completely fail in deep space, the momentum from the Moon's gravity will naturally carry the crew safely home. But coming back to Earth brings its own set of dangers. After days of smooth sailing through empty space, the crew has to face the atmosphere. Before they reach the air, the spacecraft drops its heavy service module, the part carrying the main engines and solar panels. That section burns up harmlessly, leaving only the small, cone-shaped crew cabin exposed. This diagram shows the immense physical toll of the return. The capsule is crashing into the atmosphere at 40,000 kilometers per hour. Friction generates an envelope of superheated plasma around the ship. To survive 2,800 degrees Celsius, half as hot as the sun, it relies on a thick heat shield. As the shield burns away, it carries the heat with it, keeping astronauts safely at room temperature. Once they punch through the worst of the heat, a sequence of giant parachutes deploys. In a matter of minutes, they drag the capsule from jet plane speeds down to a gentle 27 kilometers per hour. Finally, Orion splashes down into the Pacific Ocean, where Navy recovery teams are waiting in boats to pull the capsule and the 4 astronauts out of the water. Once that splashdown is complete, the test drive is over. The crew will have proven that this new vehicle can survive the cold of deep space and the fire of reentry, clearing the way for humans to return to the lunar surface and eventually to step foot on Mars.